Dog, I can't defend this. He's like a gremlin down there reaching at ankles and ladies and gentlemen, Colorado, Deion Sanders, Shiloh Sanders, they've done it. The Louis has arrived in the complete rebuilding of this previously 111 team. Well, they're bowl eligible now, ladies and gentlemen. This is just 2 years after Coach Prime takes over. They've had a lot of ups, downs, lefts, rights, and centers, but at this particular moment in history, nobody can say that the Buff season this year is not a success. So much to the chagrin of a lot of Deion Sanders, Coach Prime haters, a lot of people typing "we was" in the comments are a little bit upset because Colorado looked like a good football team. Sadly, this wasn't an exhilarating, amazing game like Colorado usually does, but it was something that I don't think a lot of people, even me, were really thinking that they were going to see consistently, right? We saw them have a good performance last week. We saw them against K-State also have a good performance, but, just not be able to get the job done. We saw games against UCF where they looked really strong. This is a game where it felt like everything was clicking again. This is 2 games in the same season where this Colorado Buffalo team looks the best they have looked like in years, and this is how they should look. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for prime time. So we're going to get in here and talk about the implications of the Cincinnati and Colorado game. We talked about predictions. I told y'all how important this game was to both of these teams because both of these teams were going down a bit of the same trajectory, same record, a lot of things to come up, and we're going to kind of talk about that more in the video. Then we're going to talk about Travis Hunter re-implementing himself. I'm not going to say submitting himself, but reintroducing himself into the Heisman talks with that insane performance both on offense and defense coming back from injury. There's a lot of good to talk about. So hope y'all enjoying these videos. If you do, leave a like on this video. If you don't, leave a dislike on this video. Comment down below if you're a Buffalo fan, hater, or anything otherwise, and what you think the Colorado schedule will finish off as. I know you're wondering, hey Tings, usually you drop these at like 30 o'clock. I passed out, dog. These motherfuckers be playing until 2 o'clock in the morning. I can't do it anymore. I apologize, all right? It's not good for me, my health, and the little bit of my wealth that I don't have. But getting into it, let's take a look at these stats. The 2-star performers, the prodigal son and the actual son, Shiloh Sanders and Travis Hunter. Travis with 9 receptions for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. I can almost guarantee you he's still top 10 in receiving touchdowns. I'm not sure if he's still top 10 in receiving yards, but absolutely insane for someone who is playing on both sides and has been on basically a pitch count for the last 2 games. Sorry, Arizona was the last game where they handled business. I'm getting all my stuff mixed together. I thought K-State was last year, but he was on a pitch count, and then of course in K-State he comes out of that game anyway, right? And then he comes back and looks just fluid, looks amazing, looks the way you want to see. I want to talk about Shiloh for a second. What I want to talk about with Shiloh is the cardinal sin of Shiloh Sanders. The only thing I don't like about Shiloh Sanders, I guess the 2 things that people have the biggest issues with Shiloh Sanders, he silenced those in this game. The pocket presence, I loved it. He looked so calm, and I think that's just more of a settling thing. I talked about that early on in the season. I was like, look, he's known to be a guy who holds on to the ball too long, who escapes pockets too long, who needs to get a little better when knowing when a clean pocket is clean and what to do with it. But when he does do it, he's always been great at making something happen when the right decision is made. It seems like he's making that right decision. It was almost, I felt like it was flawless. I need to go back and look at it, but I just felt like every single time there was some dismay, there was a problem. Okay, cool, roll this way. Okay, step up. Okay, I got 8 years. I felt like the clean pockets, which sometimes he would kind of like freak out and like almost like PTSD. And I don't mean to say that to even, you know what I'm saying? I'm not playing about it, but what I mean by that is he's like remembering the offensive line of later years and of the years that he's experienced with Colorado, and it's hard not to think like and flinch and think, well, that block's not going to hold up for another half a second. But now he's trusting them. Now he's being calm. Now he's surveying. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with him going through his progressions. He's good at that. I think he stares at concepts a little too much, and I think he looks for Hunter a little too much. That's a very, very, very small thing that, I mean, can be alluded to and something that a lot of quarterbacks have improved on. But the fact that I saw that, and then the other thing, the mobility, even though I don't think I don't have any problems with his mobility, but the fact that he was willing to use it this way. I made a joke like last week about do not get Shiloh Sanders in the running game anymore unless it's a designated pitch, because I didn't like the way he looked out there in the red area, man. He was wiggling a little bit. He's doing what he needs to do. I think this is 2 back-to-back games of rushing touchdowns, so he's handling his business and using the athleticism that he does have, because it isn't a lot. Yeah, all right. He's not Travis Hunter fast, all right? He's not goddamn Anthony Richardson back there, but he can get after it and he can make some touchdowns. So very impressed by a very impressive player, by both of these very impressive players. Shiloh Sanders was up to his usual. I just want to, before we're gonna get into the box score, we gotta look at this. We gotta look at this. I really be trying to defend Shiloh Sanders. I tried to get out here. I tried to get here on my soapbox and let y'all know, hey, he's recovering from injury. He's not a dirty player. He's got a lot of things going on. XYZ elemental P. And then you do something like this. Hold up. You know what I'm saying? I can't show too much of it. I can't. They're on the Cincinnati sideline, by the way. And he just like, dog, I can't defend this. I can't defend this. He's like a gremlin down there reaching at ankles and what do you want? This is uncalled for, y'all. Look at this. He doesn't just, he yanks him to the ground. I mean, not yanks him to the ground, but he, like, this is absurd. It's hilarious. And he got a flag for it. And they were up, 3 possessions at this point. And I was already passed out. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning my time. Lord have mercy. But that was hilarious. And I can't defend that. Getting into the actual box score, let's hop into it. So, like I said, the biggest point, and I haven't even talked about this because I already told y'all what it was. Let's take a round of applause for people who got in my comments for the last 2 weeks and told me Colorado doesn't need to run the ball. Let's clap it up for them. Yeah. Yeah. You feel stupid? Well, you should. Yeah, I told y'all, because I've watched football more than a year, that when you run the ball, you can control the game, control the time of possession. You can control any and everything else through the world of the game and really take it over. Have an explosive offense be explosive and efficient, 25 for 30, 328, 10-point average, only needs to do 2 touchdowns because we ran for 128 yards and we handed the ball off 32 times. Hallelujah. That's it. That's all you have to do with it. An offense that's explosive. Throw it to Travis Hunter 7 times and then hand the ball off another 20 times. I guarantee you're going to be in a place in space to win every single collegiate football game that you play. It's just that simple. It's college football we're talking about here. Don't get at me with this. Oh, but Shiloh Sanders, he's so good and he's so efficient and he's so great throwing the ball. I know he's phenomenal. The way you make it even more phenomenal is make his job easier. And I don't know why you wouldn't want to make his job easier. Stop making him, oh, let's just throw 50 times a game, because y'all can win those. You can, but you can't put your defense in good spots doing that. You know what I'm saying? Can we look at the time of possession, please? Can we please look at the time of possession? Someone pull up the time of possession, please. Where's it at? Bada bing. Over 100 more total yards. Over what, 3, 5, 6, 7 more time of possession. And guess what? You win the game in almost what I would say is a pretty dominating fashion. But that's I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Run the ball. It leads to wins, especially for this team who now is trusting their offensive line more, who now is trusting in Augusta more, who now is cycle in Hayden a little bit more. They've got a little running attack, 22 for 91. I mean, they're really getting after it. So I love to see that. And that's really how they won the game. And then on the other side here, but I mean, you have some quarterback running. There's one of like a 3-headed backfield back here for a total of 171. So they did allow a lot of yards. They did allow a lot of average, but it was a bend and not break type of performance from this defense. I was really, I really like what I saw from this Colorado defense. I also like what I saw for the Cincinnati offense. They looked explosive at times. They looked like this Brendan Sorsby dude. Hey, He can wiggle it a little bit. He can spin it a little bit. He is galvanizing that offense, and I think it's the major reason why they went from like what one or like four or no, they had like 3 wins last year. I think Cincinnati did to now already on 5 wins, looking for their bowl eligibility spot. So no, nothing bad on the Cincinnati team. They got some beef on the inside on the defensive side too. So please be on the lookout for the Cincinnati team. This is in no way just a rolling of a bad team. This is a team that, again, like I said, similar spots. I was alluding to that at the beginning of the video, but Cincinnati is in their 2nd year of a new head coach, right? Trying to get things together, trying to get things around. And it seems like both of these programs are going to be able to go ahead and hop into bowl eligibility and make a name for themselves and even elevate themselves to that next level. So great story for general college football. Great story for the greater Big 12, because I think both of these teams are going to be titans in the next 3 to 4 years. Obviously depending on how things goes and depending on how they're shipping things at. But absolutely love the performance from Cincinnati. But I think this is one of the games, and this is what we were expecting last year. This is just what happens when you out-talent and out-coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was when you have this much of a talent discrepancy in some of these places. I mean, you have a Travis Hunter, and you have a Jimmy Horn who has legitimate track speed. You have a Shiloh Sanders who's projected to be one of the first to second quarterback taken in the draft. Like, if you just execute, don't do anything crazy. These aren't crazy. Besides Travis Hunter's stat line, these aren't crazy stat lines. 323, 2 touchdowns, 22 carries for 91, 4.1 average, and a tutter. Like these aren't crazy numbers. By the way, and that boy got 1 on the ground and 2 to the air. That boy going crazy. And Travis Hunter, obviously 9 receptions for 2 touchdowns, 153 yards. That's pretty. But these are normal for them. These are normal. 5 receptions for 78 for Jimmy Horn. LeJounte, who played a great game, who's been playing really good football. It's so important to have a wide receiver like that. I'm not sure if you want to call it a third guy or a second guy, but he's a go-to guy that's not Travis. Because I don't even consider Travis Hunter a wide receiver. Like, he's his own, I don't know, he's his own thing. So I think LeJounte Wester kind of serves that number 2, quote unquote number 2 man, where, hey, if I need something from it, he can do it. He can do the dirty work. He can get the first downs. He can get those yards after the catch. I really like what I see from LeJounte Wester, and apparently, we go over here, Coach Prime has announced that he's wearing number 1, and that's like a big thing. Some football players are not football players. Football coaches are in programs are big about like certain numbers. So
something it's given to you. It's not.
I'm on. Sorry, we're on the wrong thing. Let me switch the audio and let me. But he's gonna kind of explain the whole. You know what I'm saying, the whole little situation there, dog.
LeJounte, we blessed him with. He wanted number 1 when he came here. And number 1 ain't something you acquire. It's something it's given to you. It's not a number that you choose for yourself. I'm old school, so I
want to talk about this because I thought this was. I used to use first of all, I was never in a place to wear number 1. I was an outside linebacker, defensive end. Yada. I could wear so small numbers, but number 1 was never. You know what I'm saying? That's for wide receivers, quarterbacks, blah blah blah. It was such a thing. In every team I went to, it was like such a thing. Like, no, we don't do number 1s. We don't give out number 1s. I think Nick Saban was kind of big on that whole, I don't give out number 1s unless it's a certain thing. So I think it's funny to me that a lot of people who tried to make these narratives about Deion Sanders, especially last year. I love comparing last year to this year because last year, it was all this naysayers and all this craziness. But when we come to this year, it's like all these things that y'all said about not having culture, not, whatever, just being this new age coach. They got Instagram handles on the back of their body. And then when you actually listen to what Deion says and you listen to Coach Prime says, it's nothing but old school narrative stuff. Hey, we don't give out number 1s. Hey, this is how we do it. Hey, this is, XYZ Elemental P, QRSTUV. But at the end of the day, I just think it's funny. It's a dope little nostalgia trick, and I think it's just interesting to show this so-called non-culture that they have is pretty culture-fied up. But just to finish things out, from the defensive side, they were getting after it. They only had 1 sack, though, 4 tackles for loss. But I really felt like these boys were flying around. Again, very bend, not break type style here, where you had my man Nikhil Green with 6 solo, Cameron with 8 solos, Shiloh Sanders with totals. Sorry, I wasn't saying solos. Shiloh with 5 solos. I don't know, man. I haven't been liking the way he's been playing the game of football. But that is what that's gonna be. But that's it, man. I think what this means for Colorado, who I think this this win makes a lot of different wins look a little different. And by the way, Cincinnati, just to let you know the type of team Colorado went against. I mean, this was, like we talked about, a third down converting team at 17%, and they were giving Colorado hell on third down. So I could see that. Number 6 in fourth down conversions, number 96 in red zone conversions on the defensive side, number 8 in fourth down conversion on the defensive side. But other than that, pretty mid, top 30 when it comes to points a game. Not Cincinnati, but Colorado did break through that. But about a mid tier to decent tier when it comes to the nation. So just want to make sure you know that. Implications wise, right? So you beat Cincinnati. Texas Tech loses by 1 point to what's it called, Baylor, I believe. And Utah is a sinking ship. And Kansas almost beats K-State. These are effectively all winnable games now. I think we know for a fact these are all winnable games. And I think especially with Texas Tech being on these little down. Oh, sorry, TCU. I thought they barely beat. They did lose to Baylor, but they just lost to TCU. So they're coming off of a loss to TCU. So we'll see kind of how that happens. I think they're going into and then Colorado's going into a bye week too. So this is very, very, very advantageous for what Colorado's got cooking. I think they're going to, especially if Texas Tech has to have another game and they're not going to be in a bye week, if you let them get beat up again, let the momentum swing again, that's a game where they can just kind of tee off. Then you tee off on Utah. And then I think Kansas is going to be the biggest challenge, dog. And if they handle this slate, look at the Big 12, the only 2 0-loss teams, like we talked about last time, Iowa State and BYU. Now, BYU is a wagon. I don't know who's going to stop them. I don't know who's going to stop Iowa State. Who is there anywhere? Because y'all got in the comments and promptly told me there's like no way for Iowa State to lose. And when I look at this, I don't think there is a way Iowa State can lose. But we were just talking about who does Texas Tech play next. Well, it's Iowa State. So this could get interesting. I guess if you're a Colorado fan, I guess you root for Iowa State because you root for Colorado. I mean, you root for what's his name, Texas Tech. So when you play them, you can do that. You root for Kansas. So you know what I'm saying. All these wins become a little more substantive, and then you hope that of course they can lose to K-State. That's the one. If people are talking about they don't have a loss on their record, the only one that I can see is the fact that K-State has to play Iowa State. And then when we look at BYU, I don't think there's any losses on their record. Yeah, there are no more losses. So BYU is going to cruise into the Big 12 championship. They might go undefeated in the regular season. Shout out to the Mormon Cougs out there. But Colorado's got some work to do, but they've got a path to it. Great game by both Cincinnati and by, the Buffaloes. Bowl eligible. They're back in action, man. But, hey, appreciate y'all watching this video. Leave a like if you like it. Dislike if you don't like it. See you next time, man.